Hello and welcome to Network Attacks demo session. So I'm gonna start right where we left off. So I was talking about the network attacks and particularly I talked about the Yersinia tool that will help us basically to attack some uh, some networks. So in this session I'm going to discuss about the first attack, that is STP root bridge attack, and we have already discussed on that. For example, if this user wants to communicate with this user, and if this attacker become the root bridge or the king of this network, all the traffic will go through this attacker. So attacker can then install the tool like TCP dump or the Wireshark. So once it is installed in its Linux or Ubuntu system, whatever the communication that go across, he can sniff those all information. So this is the basic idea behind that attack. So how to launch this attack? So for that, I'm gonna open the Evengy. So as you can see, this is the very basic topology that I'm going to use for this demo. Uh, so this is basically the attacker who is attached with this normal network topology. Like this is the VPC5, just you can consider it like the normal host, and this is another normal host. So current situation of the topology is this is the root bridge of this all switches, or the can say the king. So it means, as you can see, I have already mentioned, if this is the root uh, bridge, then the ports that belongs to that switch all will be in the designated port, as you can see here and here. Other than that, all other switches will be pointing to this route. So this switch is saying to reach this computer you need to send all information, or all information will pass through this root bridge, and then it will hit this VPC6. And similarly, if attacker even wants to communicate with VPC6, he will go through this switch, and the root port is this one. Okay, so similarly, if this Linux wants to communicate with this VPC5 terminal, then he will go like this way, and in a reverse order as well. So we have the same path in the switching environment, unlike in a routing where we have multiple paths as well. And as I can see, as you can see, we have one port in a blocking state here. For the confirmation, what I can do, just click on this switch. So I just want to clarify what I just said. So if I go show spanning tree VLAN 1, because currently all our switches are on VLAN 1. So as you can see, it is clearly mentioned this bridge is the root. In other words, because until now you haven't touched the parts of spanning tree, root, bridge, election. So that's why I just use the layman example for this. So this is the king of all switches. So as you can see, the ports that belongs to this switch, like Giga Ethernet 0/0, is in a designated mode, DP. It is mentioned DP, and here it is mentioned role is designated, and G0/1 is also in the forwarding state but designated port. So what is the situation on other switches, like if I take you to this switch, and show VLAN, show spanning tree for VLAN 1, because the VLAN 1 is currently is in use. So there is no any kind of thing mentioning that this switch is the root bridge. As you can see, it is empty. Other than that, the ports like gig 0/1, it is clearly showing it is in a root port. So it is saying my root or the king is on this port, while G0/0 is in a blocking state. So no information will go through this. No, it is blocked. And similarly, if I will take you to this switch, one will be in a root port mode, which is mentioning this is my path to reach the king of this switch, and the other path is in a designated port. But the problem is this, is in a blocking state, so no information will go across gig 0/1. Okay, so I have given you the clear understanding that current what is the current situation of our topology and the port states. But the whole idea behind this showing that if I will take you to this Linux machine, Ubuntu machine basically, and I will launch this attack from Yersinia, which basically will make this box as a root king or root bridge, and these all ports and roles will be changed accordingly. Means this switch will be saying to reach the this destination you have to go through my root bridge, root port, which is here, somewhere here. And similarly this one, before it was blocking, but now after this Linux machine will become a root port, this port role will become a root port. So all information will go through this one like this way. Okay, so let's quickly launch the attack. So what you need to do, you need to click on this Linux machine. It is already open. I will quickly log into this machine. Okay, so we need to go into this terminal, and first of all you need to provide the privilege with the sudo su command and the password. Now you have a privilege, or say you have the full basically command to run this Yersinia tool. So just type Yersinia and -g, because I'm looking for graphical user interface for this tool. So click on that. So this is the landing page for that tool. As you can see, it is mentioning here that Yersinia 0.8.2, this is the version that I am using. Okay, to launch the attack you need to click on this launch attack. Then you need to go into the STP, because these are the attacks belong to the spanning tree protocol. We want to make our this Linux machine as a root bridge. So click on this STP, and here we have some another options. The option that I'm currently looking for is claiming root role. So I'm claiming that I want to be a root bridge. So before I just click on this and make this as a root bridge, what I need to do, I need to go back to the switch that is currently in a root bridge state. So once more I just want to clarify you, show spanning tree for VLAN 1. So this is a command to check the, as you can see, it is saying this is the root bridge. And since we are here, let me very quickly turn on the debugging as well. So debugging is just like the syslogs. It will show on this iOS console that what is going on. If some, for example, this interface is down, it will mention that this interface just went down, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to enable debugging, which is related to spanning tree events. So as you can see, spanning tree event debugging is on. And why I made it on, because once I will make this machine as a root bridge, you will see some event will be going on, just for the clarification that attack has been launched. So let's go to this tool and click on, just you need to click on this claiming root role and click on OK. As you can see, it is saying that it received a superior BPTU on gig 0/0. Gig 0/0 is now root. For the confirmation, last time we were running the same command, show spanning tree VLAN 1, to see whether this this switch is the king of this topology or not. So let's try again. As you can see, it is not currently the root bridge for this topology. Okay, so root bridge is someone else, and who is that one? You can see from the, as you can see, gig 0/0 previously was DP, designated port, but now it is saying that my root or the king is attached somewhere here. Okay, and similarly, if I take you to this switch 3, last time when we saw the roles of these two ports, this was root port and this was blocking port. Okay, let's see what is going on right now. Now you can see gig 0/0 is saying that I am in a root port mode. So it means it is also, this switch is also saying my root is somewhere else, and we know who root bridge is currently, this attacker. So what this attacker gained after that? So whatever the communication that VPC5 or this VPC host wants to communicate with this host, it will always go through this one, like this path. The path will be like this, because one of these ports will be in a blocking state. This is how this Linux, if he has installed Wireshark, so whatever the communication that is, going through between this host and this host machine, this attacker can sniff it and can do, or can whatever the information you want to gain, he can gain it very easily. Okay, so before I end this lab, I just also want to show you that how to mitigate these attacks. So let me just quickly close this one. So we know from our previous topology, this one was the root or the king of this topology. So let's click on this one again and do show spanning tree VLAN 1, and you can see this Linux machine is still the root bridge for this topology. So what we're gonna do, to protect this attack, there is a one basically the command that is known as root guard. So what basically this command is saying, it's saying whenever I will receive some inferior BPDUs, the request from some attacker or even some switches or some even host machines, okay, I'm just going to block that one. Means someone is saying, I want to become a king of this whole topology, but I have enabled the root guard on these two ports, even on this one. By enabling this command, this switch is telling all other switches that you cannot become a root king because I'm already configured it as. So you are not allowed. So let's do it very quickly. Before I do, first of all, I need to stop the debugging. To stop debugging, you need to type in debug undebug all. And as you can see, all possible debugging has been turned off. Uh, then I need to go into this attack again and we'll stop the attack to show you that this switch will become a root bridge again. Okay, so you need to click on this list attacks and click on stop and stop all. That's it. Now go back to this switch again, this one, and type the command show spanning tree for VLAN 1. Now you can see now it has become the root bridge again. So this has become the king of this topology again. So what I need to do to mitigate these issues, you need to go into interface Giga Ethernet 0/0 and type spanning tree guard root. That's it. Enter. Same thing you're gonna do for this port as well. So go interface Giga Ethernet, sorry, interface gigabit Ethernet 0/1 spanning tree guard root, and that's it. And save the configuration. So basically we have stopped any kind of inferior BPDUs that will hit on these ports. So this is saying I'm the root bridge, and these interface are guarding these kind of information that is coming from inferior BPDUs from Linux machine or somewhere else. So let's launch this attack again. Launch attack. Come to STP, claiming root role, and click OK. So the launch has attacked. Let's go to this switch again to see if something is going on. As you can see, root guard blocking port, this one, root guard block. Okay, so launch attacked, but it stopped it. So let's try again. Show spanning tree VLAN 1, and as you can see, this bridge is still in the root state. It means this bridge is still root. Okay, so with that, your first lab ends here. Okay, so the next attack that I'm talking about is kind of trunk attacks. So basically what attacker will do, let's say this is an attacker and it is connected with the normal Ethernet cable with the switch, okay, which is currently not in a trunk mode. And you know what trunk is used for? If we correlate with our earlier information or the slides, basically the trunk will pass all kind of VLAN information through it. Why do we need a trunk link? For example, if this host machine is on VLAN 10, there is another host machine on VLAN 20. We know these both machines cannot communicate with each other, okay, because they are on a different segment. And we have another switch here, and that switch is connected with the some host that is exist on VLAN 20 here, and there is some host machine that is connected with the VLAN 10. So if this machine wants to communicate with VLAN 10, usually this link should be a trunk link. So this link between these two switches should be a trunk, then only this VLAN information will go across this like this and will communicate with this one. Okay, so this is the basic idea behind of using trunks, so we can span VLAN all information from one location to another location. Okay, but basically that location in the same LAN network. Just like in this case, we have this one location and this one location. So we want to communicate. So for the communication, we must require kind of trunk links. Okay. So as you can already feel about it, that now you have a feeling that all information will go through the this trunk link. So attacker what will do, he or she will make this link as a trunk link. So by configuring this as a trunk link, what will happen, whatever the communication, as I drew earlier, the topology, if we have these devices here, and if they want to communicate, the communication will happen. There is no any issue with the communication. But what will happen, the same information will go across this link as well. So the same information will go here, and this attacker just can, if he is using Wireshark or even the TCP dump, he or she can sniff all the information that is going across. So that is the basic idea behind that. So let's very quickly launch this attack basically in our topology, and I will show you how. So if I take you to the topology, as you can see, these links are trunks, these links are trunks, these links are trunks. So if this machine is VLAN 10 and this host machine is also VLAN 10, if they want to communicate, they will go across this trunk link, because this is the benefit of having trunk link. So we can pass on the multiple VLANs information through this. But in our case, what attacker will do, this is not a trunk link, by the way. Okay, but the problem is this port will be saying I am in a desirable mode. Desirable means I'm willing to become a trunk with you if you want to. So why not? If Linux or this attacker, he can sense that this is a desirable of some kind, he can launch this attack from the DTP, basically that is dynamic trunking protocol. This is a protocol that will negotiate as a trunk. So he or she will enable this attack, and this link will become a trunk link, and whatever the information will pass on this link, it will go through this as well. So he can sniff all the information. So for the verification purpose, I will go to this switch. Just click on this switch. If I do show interface trunk, so this is a command to see what your ports are in a trunk mode currently. So if you want to correlate gigabit 0/1, which is this one, and giga 0/2, which is this one, is currently in a mode is on and trunking is happening on it. Okay, so the trunk is enabled on this one, but not on this one. So what is going on this giga ethernet 0/0? To verify that, the command is show interface gig 0/0 with a switch port. So this is the command for the verification purpose. So we can see what is happening on this port currently. So if I hit enter, as you can see, it is dynamic. Administrative mode is dynamic desirable, that I am desiring to become a trunk with any other switch that is connected on the other end of this link. Okay, so and the negotiation of trunking is also on, means the DTP protocol is currently running on this port. Okay, so currently the attacker is in a very good situation. He can create a trunk links with this one. So let's do it. So click on this Linux. I'm already on that. You need to type the password for that. So you need to go into this terminal and provide the sudo su command so we can run your Xenia tool, and type -g for the GUI mode. Once again we are on the same tool and we want to launch this time a different kind of attacks. So click on the launch attack. As you can see, we have this DTP. So click on this TTP, and this is the option that we are looking for, enable trunking. Okay, so just select this option and click OK. Now I need to go into that switch again, and then let's see what is the current situation. Show interface trunk, and now you can clearly see this port was not a trunk, but now you can see it is trunking and my mode is desirable. So since the attacker, he launched the attack saying that I'm also want to become a trunk with you, why don't you? So they became the trunk with each other. So this is a trunk link right now. And you know, trunk link, all VLAN information will go to this go through this link, and he can sniff all the information. So what is the mitigation step for that? Two things you can do. You need to go into this interface I'm talking about, this one, which is connected with this host machine. So what you can do, you can enable spanning tree port fast on that one. Okay, first of all enable port fast, and then enable mode as a access. Switch port mode access, hit enter. Okay, so making this port access, we are hard coding that you cannot become a trunk link. Only host will be connected on that link. So this is the thing that this command is saying. Okay, so let's see, show interface trunk, what is going on. And now you can clearly see gig 0/1 and 0/2 are trunking, which is this one and this one, but gig 0/0 is no more there. So with the help of this command, just one single command basically, which is this one, you are going to mitigate these kind of attacks. Okay, so with that your second lab ends here. Okay, so the final lab talks about the DHCP starvation attacks. So what happens in the DHCP starvation attacks, that this is the DHCP server. Okay, so these are the normal hosts that are basically getting IPs from the DHCP server. So what the attacker will do, and we know if we have the network like 192.168.1.0, so 0 mean these are the number of IPs this DHCP server can allocate to these users. And how many these could be? This total number is 255 minus 2, the total are 253. So it means total number of hosts or the IPs that DHCP server can assign or give away to these host machines are 253 in total. And by the way, it also has its own IP, so it is -1, which is 252, because DHCP server itself will have one IP address. So total number are 252. So what the attacker will do, attacker will consume all T252 host, means he will launch a kind of attack that will just consume these all 252 IPs. So the DHCP server will have nothing to hand over then. Okay, because it has allocated all IPs, by the way. So this host machine, when will try to retrieve the IP or to to ask the DHCP server to get the IP, it will be denied. Okay, so you get the idea. So that is what is known as DHCP starvation attack. So this host will be starving to get the IP. So let's very quickly go to the topology that I created for you. So this is going to be a very simple topology. So this is my DHCP server, which is having IP 192.168.1.100. And this host machine is already assigned because this E1 interface is DHCP. Basically, it is going to get the IP dynamically from this server. So it could be like 192.168.1.1, or could be any IP that allocated by this DHCP server. So first we will try to ping this DHCP server that we have basically access to this machine or no. and then we will launch the DHCP starvation attack. And then the possibility is, this maybe this machine will be locked down, will be locked, so I do not have any access to this machine then, because after handing over these all IPs, it will send tons and tons of requests basically to get the IPs, and this machine will not be able to handle these all requests and will be jammed and it will be locked. So the only solution will be just to restart this machine. So in case, I will try to very quickly stop this attack. If it is not, maybe if this host machine is locked, you should understand the attack has already launched and happened, and there is the damage has already been done. So I will stop the lab there. So this is the basic idea, just to show you that how to launch this attack. So what is the mitigation? The mitigation is you are going to enable IP-DHCP snooping on this port. So this is the remedy. And what DHCP snooping is, you can take it as an assignment, but basically it is the binding of this host with the MAC addresses. So this machine already familiar with this. If this is asking some multiple requests, it will just ignore those requests. Okay, so you will enable the DHCP snooping. So let's very quickly go to this Linux machine and just log into this machine. So before I go to this machine, I just want to show you the configuration that has already done on this switch, because we have already gone through so many times the DHCP configuration, so I do not want to waste my time here. So if I click show run in show run, section DHCP. So as you can see, I have already configured IP DHCP exclude address 192.168.1.100 because this belonged to this machine, and then I created one pool with the network pool name, and network address is 192.168.1.0, the subnet mask with /24. Okay, other verifications we can do: show IP DHCP binding. Binding is basically the same thing as I told you, that this Linux machine is already got one IP from the pool, which is 192.168.1.1. Okay, so the verification has done. Okay, I will keep this thing open here and will launch the attack, and we'll see behind the scene what is going on if it shows, and don't stuck if in case. So click on this console or terminal and type sudo su and the password, and then type Yersinia -g to go into GUI mode, and we can click on this launch attack, and as you can see, we have this option DHCP here. So you need to click on this DHCP. As you know, we have this DORA process. Discover, offer, request, and acknowledgement. And which belongs to the host machine, the request? Basically the discover and the request, because these two things correlate with the DHCP server. So what kind of attack I'm gonna launch? As per this information, it should correlate with this one, sending DHCP discover packets. Okay, so very quickly I will launch this attack and will try to stop this attack. Otherwise my this this iOS device, basically, which is configured as a DHCP server, will be logged down. So I wish if it doesn't log, I will show you what is going on behind the scene. Otherwise, it is logged. If it is logged, then I need to restart, and upon restarting, all the configuration will be lost. So that is the reason. So click on this sending discover packets and click on the OK, and come here, list of attacks, and stop all. As you can see how in a fraction of second how many uh, discover packets have been sent. From here you can see. Okay, so I need to go back to this machine and I will see if I can do. So let's do show IP DHCP binding. As you can clearly see, it is going into a thought process that what is going on. As you can see, the cursor is just keep blinking. Before I ran the same command, show IP DHCP binding, and it showed only one host. So what it's saying that DHCP database could not be logged. Please retry the command later. So let's try again, maybe. So basically, as you can clearly see the message, and you can feel that something fishy is going on, and this attack has already been done the damage. Okay, so this has to do with the DHCP starvation attack. So with that, this lab also ends here, and I hope this has been informative to you.